Welcome to Stories for Sleep. If you are listening to this video at night, perhaps a long day has just come to a close. Your body is resting, yet your mind may still be wandering somewhere among thoughts you have not yet released. At Stories for Sleep, we believe that in order to sleep, sometimes you do not need to force your thoughts to stop. You only need to guide them to a place that is wide enough and quiet enough. And tonight, that place is the universe. The galaxies out there have existed for billions of years, turning slowly in the darkness, coming into being, and gradually dispersing, without haste, without anxiety. When we listen to their stories, the human mind, so accustomed to moving quickly, naturally begins to slow down. Carl Gustav Jung once said that human beings find deep comfort when they encounter archetypal images that go beyond the personal ego. The universe, and especially galaxies, are among the most ancient symbols of vastness and peace. Stories for Sleep was created for moments like this, not to learn more, not to remember more, but simply to listen and let go. Each video is a slow storytelling journey about the human mind, dreams, the unconscious, and tonight about the most fascinating truths of galaxies, told in a gentle voice, soft enough for you to feel safe as you close your eyes. In this video, you are not required to concentrate. If you fall asleep halfway through, that is completely fine. The content is designed to continue flowing, even when you are no longer listening clearly. If you enjoy quiet journeys like this, you are welcome to subscribe to Stories for Sleep, so that each night you have a place to return to. Now, if you are ready, let your shoulders relax. Take a deep breath, and we will begin our journey through the galaxies, very slowly. When night falls and the last sounds of a long day dissolve into silence, you may have found yourself lying there, staring at the ceiling, feeling that your mind is still too noisy to sleep. Unfinished thoughts, emotions not yet settled, circling like stars that refuse to go dark. We live in a very small world, yet carry within us an inner universe so vast that sometimes we do not know where to place it in order to rest. Carl Gustav Jung believed that when consciousness becomes tired, the human psyche naturally turns toward archetypal images, ancient, vast symbols that transcend the personal self. And there is perhaps no symbol more expansive, more silent, and more deeply comforting than the universe. Galaxies turning slowly in the dark. Light that left its source billions of years ago. Immense structures existing without needing to be witnessed by humans. All of this gently reminds us that you no longer need to hold yourself together so tightly. This video is not created to teach you new information, nor does it ask you to remember numbers or terminology. Instead, it is an invitation, a gentle invitation to step out of the hurried rhythm of daily life and rest temporarily in a space far larger, a space where everything moves slowly, very slowly. Here, galaxies are born, collide, age, and disperse over billions of years without any sense of urgency. On this journey, you will hear about the most fascinating truths of galaxies, but told like whispers from the universe itself. About light emerging from darkness, about movements so patient they almost appear still, about invisible forces that keep everything from falling apart. And above all, about the strange sense of safety that comes from realizing that in a universe so vast, your worries can be set down. If only for a moment. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to follow every detail. Let this voice remain with you like a distant lamp, bright enough to guide, but not bright enough to wake you. If you allow it, this journey through the galaxies will not only expand your imagination, it will also help your consciousness slow down, handing its watch over to rest. And when you are ready, we will begin, very slowly, from where every journey begins, a deep breath and a sky full of stars. Part 1. Introduction. A gentle journey through the prophet. Galaxies allow yourself to begin very slowly. There is no need to understand right away. No need to keep up with every thought. You are here. You are listening. You are breathing. It may be a shallow breath, it may be a deep one. Either is fine. Your body has worked all day. Your mind has carried many things. And now no one is asking you to do anything more. In this moment, you do not need to become better, smarter, or stronger. You only need to be present. And from that simple presence, a gentle door begins to open. Sleep, according to Carl Gustav Jung, is not merely the shutting down of consciousness, but a transition. When the ego grows tired and loosens its grip, a deeper part of us begins to speak. That part does not speak in logic. It does not follow schedules. It does not rush toward conclusions. It speaks in images, in sensations, in symbols larger than personal life. And among the most ancient, encompassing, and comforting symbols humanity has ever turned toward the night sky, and the galaxies have always been there. From long ago, before science, before telescopes, human beings looked up at the sky like children gazing at the face of a vast mother. Not to understand, but to be held. Not to possess, but to know they were not alone. When you look at a galaxy, whether with your eyes, through images, or in imagination, you are looking at a structure that has existed for billions of years, operating patiently indifferent to human schedules. And in that gentle indifference, there is a deep sense of safety. This journey does not begin by leaving Earth, but by leaving your own sense of hurry. There are no clocks here, no destination to reach. The galaxies we will pass do not require you to remember their names, shapes, or distances. They simply exist, turning slowly, glowing faintly, whispering a simple truth. Everything can slow down and still continue. Science is often told through numbers and equations, but in the space of sleep, science can be told differently, like a lullaby. The light from a distant galaxy is not dry data. It is an ancient memory traveling through darkness. Each photon that reaches our retina carries a message from the far past time, is not an enemy, it is a current. Jung wrote that the personal unconscious opens into the collective unconscious, a realm of shared images and symbols. In this sense, galaxies are not only objects of astronomy, but archetypal images of vastness beyond the small ego. When you allow yourself to drift into such images, the ego so used to controlling begins to soften, and in that softening sleep finds its way. There is no pressure to understand correctly. If something passes without leaving a trace, that is fine. If an image appears, a starry sky, a deep darkness, or a sensation of slow falling, let it be. Do not hold it. Do not explain it. Sleep does not come from grasping, but from allowing. The galaxies we mention are not the same. Some are bright, some are faint, some are forming stars, some are old and quiet. None are wrong. Each form is the result of billions of years of interaction, collision, merging, and dispersal. If listened to deeply, this offers a gentle comfort. You do not need a fixed shape in order to exist. As you lie there, listening to stories of the universe, you may notice something small yet important. Your thoughts are like stars. They appear, shine briefly, then fade. You do not need to extinguish them. You only need space wide enough for them to dim on their own. That space is the vastness of the universe you are being invited into. The goal of this journey is not knowledge, but feeling. The feeling of being placed within something larger than personal worry. The feeling that slow, distant movements continue without your supervision. The feeling that even as you sleep, the universe keeps turning, and that this is not frightening but reassuring. So if your eyelids grow heavy, if words begin to blend, if this voice feels distant, take it as a sign that the journey has begun correctly. You are not missing anything. You are arriving exactly where you need to be. And from here, as your body softens and your breath slows, we will continue deeper into the universe, not to find answers, but to rest within the largest question of all, what it feels like to exist in a vast, quiet universe that asks nothing of you. And if you notice that the moment you stop trying to follow every word is the moment your mind begins to let go, that is no accident. Jung emphasized that deep healing does not come from conscious effort, but from allowing the unconscious to do its work. The galaxies exist this way. No central authority commands them to turn. No master plan is written. Only gravity, time, and absolute patience. billions of stars form shapes, dissolve, and change without panic. In the universe, there is no concept of failure, only transformation. And when the human mind encounters this different logic, it relearns something long forgotten. Not every change is a threat. You may be used to finishing a day before sleeping, but the universe finishes nothing, it only transitions. Light leaves a star long after the star has died, continuing its journey, telling its story to anyone patient enough to listen. And in this moment, you are that listener, not with your ears, but with your state of rest. As you place yourself among galaxies, the personal ego with its worries and roles begins to shrink, not by force, but because it no longer needs to expand. Jung called this the moment when the ego touches the self, a deep, quiet state where you still exist but do not need to prove anything. If you feel yourself drifting between waking and sleeping, between hearing and not hearing, that is perfect. This is the gentlest border of consciousness, the place where sleep enters. Galaxies are born in such borders too, between density and emptiness, light and dark, order and chaos. There is no need to cross quickly. Just float there for a while. And in that floating, you may sense a gentle truth: you are safe. Not because everything is controlled, but because you are part of something much larger. Like a grain of dust resting in a wide river, no need to swim, no need to resist, only to drift. From here, our journey will continue into the specific stories of galaxies, of light born from darkness, of slow mergers, of invisible structures holding everything together. But even if you no longer hear those stories clearly, the journey continues within you. Because sometimes sleep is not missing out, but an ancient way of being fully within the universe. Part 2. Strange galaxies and light born from darkness. As the journey continues, we move away from gentle galaxies where stars turn evenly like an ancient breath, and enter a deeper region where light is not born from peace, but from the deepest darkness. There at the centers of distant galaxies exist paradoxical sources of light, quasars, brilliant beacons powered by black holes themselves. Black holes are often imagined as pure destruction, swallowing everything and returning nothing. But the universe, like the human psyche, rarely operates in such simple opposites. Before matter disappears into a black hole, it passes through a remarkable stage. It is stretched, twisted, and heated until it shines brighter than billions of stars combined. This moment creates a quasar, among the most powerful light sources ever observed. It is not gentle light. It is the light of transformation, born from extreme tension between existence and dissolution. If we listen with a deeper layer of perception, this light resembles moments in inner life, when a person is pulled into their darkest regions, crisis, loss, confusion, and from there new awareness, new energy, new light emerges. Carl Gustav Jung wrote in Psychology and Alchemy 1, does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The light of quasars feels like a cosmic illustration of that truth. It does not avoid darkness, it enters its center. In many galaxies, quasars appear only briefly when the central black hole is still hungry. Over time, chaos settles. The galaxy grows quieter, older, more stable. Brilliance gives way to calm. This offers a gentle reassurance. Brightness is not always sustainable, and quiet is not emptiness. Many galaxies we observe today passed through violent quasar phases billions of years ago. Their light still travels toward us like an ancient memory. In Jungian language, this resembles collective unconscious imagery, ancient stories carried within us, though never personally lived. Jung wrote in The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. The unconscious is not just evil by nature, it is also the source of the highest good. Quasars tell that story in light. From the darkest place, fierce beauty emerges, and then rests. For sleep, the feeling matters more than the science. And the feeling quasar leaves is not fear, but reassurance that even chaos has meaning, that light does not always have to be gentle, and that after intensity the universe knows how to become quiet again. As you lie there listening, personal memories may drift through you, moments of brightness, tension, difficulty. Like quasar light, they may be distant yet still arriving. You do not need to keep them shining. Allow them to be remembered and then to continue on their way. Quasar light takes billions of years to reach us. In that time, the universe has changed. The source itself may no longer exist. This teaches patience. Jung wrote in Memories, Dreams, Reflections, "In all chaos, there is a cosmos, in all disorder, a secret order." Quasars embody that secret order. And if your eyelids grow heavier now, if images of distant light blend into the border between waking and dreaming, that is natural. These stories are not meant to be understood fully. They soften consciousness so sleep may arrive naturally. As the journey continues, we will move toward even slower motions. But for now, let the light from darkness settle, like an ancient memory dissolving into night. Perhaps the gentlest truth about quasars is that they do not last forever. No light burns endlessly. Even the brightest eventually rests. And that carries a deeply human message. You do not need to shine all the time to be worthy. Some phases of life only require quiet existence, and that is enough. As galaxies mature, star formation slows, drama fades, stability deepens. The universe, like the psyche, passes through cycles. Jung called this individuation, integration after intensity. If quasars symbolize explosive unconscious phases, the calm that follows symbolizes integration. And integration is what nourishes sleep. You may not remember details of black holes or quasars, but you may feel something subtle, that darkness is not the enemy, that quiet after intensity is not emptiness, and that you are allowed to rest after shining long enough. If the boundary between listening and dreaming blurs, let it blur. These lights do not need witnesses, and you too can drift into sleep without following any further. The journey continues slower, farther, quieter. But the light from darkness has done its work, reminding you that even in the deepest night, the universe knows how to create light and how to let that light rest. Part 3. Galaxies are never still, feeding, consuming, and merging. When we look up at the night sky, galaxies appear motionless, fixed, like images pinned against the dark background. But this is only an illusion created by distance. In reality, no galaxy is ever still. All galaxies are moving, drifting closer, pulling apart, feeding, consuming, merging. Yet everything happens so slowly that the human mind can only grasp it through patient imagination. In the universe, growth does not occur through sudden leaps, but through encounters that unfold over billions of years. A large galaxy does not attack a smaller one in the violent way human wars are fought. Instead, gravity works gently but persistently, drawing the smaller galaxy into orbit, stretching its streams of stars like delicate threads until the old structure dissolves and becomes part of something larger. Those floating stellar streams are traces of cosmic memory, places where the past still exists, not erased, only softened and absorbed. The Milky Way, our cosmic home, was not complete from the beginning. It continues to grow little by absorbing dwarf galaxies around it. Even now, though we cannot feel it, the Milky Way is drawing its smaller neighbors into its gravitational embrace. There is no sound, no violent collision, only the patience of gravity and time. From a Jungian perspective, this process carries deep symbolic meaning. Carl Gustav Jung believed that psychological maturity does not come from eliminating weaker parts of the self, but from recognizing, absorbing, and integrating them. In The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious, he wrote, "The psyche is a self-regulating system that maintains its equilibrium just as the body does. Galaxies are such self-regulating systems. When a smaller galaxy is absorbed, it does not vanish entirely. Its stars continue to exist, to orbit, to shine, only now within a larger structure. There is no denial, only expansion. If listened to deeply, this offers a gentle reassurance. The fragile, smaller parts of us do not need to be removed for us to grow. They only need to be given the right space. The stellar streams surrounding a galaxy are like memories surrounding a mature person. They are no longer central, no longer dominant, but they remain present, shaping the whole. Jung once said in Memories, Dreams, Reflections, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." A galaxy too is not merely the sum of its collisions, but the result of how it has integrated them. This integration unfolds without haste. Billions of years pass in silence, in motion so slow it appears still. This stands in sharp contrast to modern human life, where every change is pressured to be fast, clear, and immediately resolved. When we hear that galaxies consume one another, we may imagine violence. But in cosmic reality, this process is gentle. Stars rarely collide directly because the distances between them are vast. What occurs is not destruction but reorganization. New orbits form, new structures emerge. The system becomes more complex, more layered, richer. In Jungian psychology, such complexity is not something to avoid. It is a sign of maturity. A mature personality is not simple. It is one that has passed through opposing forces and learned to hold them in living balance. Jung wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Yet the pain here is not annihilation but stretching, like a smaller galaxy drawn into long streams of stars. It loses its former shape but not its essence. Eventually it becomes part of something far larger. As you lie there, listening to stories of cosmic mergers lasting billions of years, your own mind may be doing something similar. Old experiences, small memories, quiet emotions may be finding their place within the larger story of your life. You do not need to organize them now. Sleep is where integration happens most naturally. Galaxies never stand still, but they never rush. They grow by waiting, by allowing time to do its work. And if the universe can be this patient, you can allow yourself to slow down as well. You do not need to be complete. You do not need to resolve everything before sleeping. Every current will find its orbit. As the journey continues, we will encounter strange shapes born from these mergers, galaxies, unlike any familiar form. But for now, you may let the story of patient cosmic growth settle gently in your mind, like a quiet reminder that true growth always takes time, and time is never in a hurry. If your eyelids feel heavier, if images begin to blur, you are not missing anything. You are aligning with the slow rhythm the universe has always kept. And within that rhythm, sleep may arrive very naturally. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about how galaxies grow is not how many they absorb, but how they preserve history. The stellar streams around the Milky Way resemble beautiful scars, not reminders of injury, but evidence of encounters. The universe does not erase its past. It keeps it at the edges, no longer painful, no longer controlling, only whispering. In Jungian psychology, memories do not disappear when we move on. They are shifted from the center to the periphery of consciousness, where they no longer govern behavior, but deepen the person. Jung called this integration of the unconscious, not conquest. Galaxies quietly do the same. Galactic mergers rarely end in permanent chaos. After disturbance, stability returns. New orbits settle. Stars find new rhythms. A broader, richer structure emerges. Not a return to what was, but a new order made possible only through transformation. Jung wrote in Ion, "What we do not make conscious appears in our lives as fate. Galaxies cannot remain isolated forever. Gravity ensures they meet, touch, and change each other's paths. In inner life, forgotten or excluded parts do the same, not to destroy but to be recognized and integrated. The Milky Way is absorbing dwarf galaxies right now, though the process will take hundreds of millions of years. This teaches a gentle lesson: deep change does not need to be fast. In a world urging constant progress, the universe whispers something else. Let time do its work. As you lie in the dark listening to cosmic mergers, your own mind may be quietly merging fragments of the day, a conversation, a fleeting feeling, an unformed worry. They do not need solving. They only need to be placed within a larger current. Like galaxies, the mind does not need to be perfect to continue. It only needs enough space for its parts to find new positions. Sleep is that space. A space without judgment, without demands, without goals, only slow, deep, patient accumulation. When we understand that cosmic growth takes billions of years, we may be gentler with ourselves. Nothing needs to be finished tonight. What remains incomplete can be carried into sleep like a small galaxy finding its way into a larger structure of consciousness. In this rhythm of feeding, consuming, and merging, nothing is forgotten. Nothing is discarded. Only expansion. If you no longer hear every word clearly, if galactic images blend with your own inner images, that is a sign the journey is unfolding as it should. You do not need to stay awake. The universe continues moving, and you may rest within that slow movement. Part 4. Unusual galactic shapes. When we grow accustomed to symmetrical spiral galaxies turning like cosmic clocks, it is easy to forget that the universe is not bound by symmetry. Out there in deep darkness exist countless galaxies with strange shapes. Some rotate opposite to parts of themselves. Some possess rings of stars standing almost perpendicular. Some resemble hollow rings floating donuts in space. They do not conform to human ideas of beauty. And precisely because of this, they possess a beauty uniquely their own, the beauty of history written in motion. In the universe, shape is not an aesthetic choice. It is the result of what has happened. Every collision, every merger, every distorted orbit leaves a trace. Galaxies do not correct themselves back to an original form. They continue with what has occurred, allowing shape to become an honest record. Tilted rings, reverse rotations, warped structures, all are memory. Carl Gustav Jung believed the human psyche carries such shapes as well. No one enters adulthood perfectly symmetrical. Experiences, losses, love, crisis all leave traces in how we feel, react, and exist. Jung wrote in The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. The individual is not just a single separate being, but by his very existence presupposes a collective relationship. Galaxies are the same. No galaxy forms in complete isolation. Every unusual shape tells a story of relationships, encounters stretching over billions of years. And none of these shapes are wrong. For sleep, this idea is deeply comforting. If the universe does not demand perfect form, why should we? A galaxy with a perpendicular ring is not a mistake. It is proof that something powerful once happened, and the galaxy still turns, still shines in its own way. Jung wrote, in memories, dreams, reflections, there is no linear evolution. There is only a circumambulation of the self. This resonates strongly with ring-shaped galaxies. They do not move forward in a straight line. They circle, repeat, slow, as if circular motion itself were the natural way of being. So too do humans revisit familiar themes, not because they fail, but because the psyche follows its own orbit. Each galaxy tells its story through movement. Stars are letters. Orbits are sentences. The entire shape is a memoir written across space. When you listen without analyzing, your mind softens. You realize you do not need to understand all of history to allow it to exist. As you lie there hearing of strange galaxies, you may think of your own off-center parts, the parts that do not fit expectations. Like the universe, you do not need to fix them now. Sleep does not demand perfection. It only asks permission to be as you are. Jung emphasized that maturity is not normality, but wholeness. In Psychological Types, he wrote, the acceptance of oneself is the essence of the whole moral problem and the epitome of a whole outlook on life. Galaxies do not reject their shapes. They carry them for billions of years, quietly accepting. And when you place your mind in that image, tension loosens. No symmetry required, no correctness required, only continued turning in your own rhythm. If images of galaxies blur into dreamlike impressions, let it happen. Stories need not be remembered. They only need to stay long enough for consciousness to soften, for sleep to enter. The journey continues deeper, but for now, let the unusual shape settle as a gentle reminder in the universe and within you. No shape is wrong, only ongoing stories. Part 5. Giant Galaxies and the silent giants under the Dabe. A night sky. Once our eyes adjust to darkness, we tend to seek bright points. A shining star, the familiar Milky Way, a planet reflecting sunlight. Yet far beyond sensory reach exist giant galaxies so immense that compared to them, the Milky Way is a small neighborhood in a boundless city. They are not dramatic. They do not explode. They do not demand attention. They simply are ancient, quiet, carrying billions of years of memory. These giants were not born in moments of glory. They grew slowly through countless mergers, smaller galaxies drawn in, dissolving into long streams of memory. Each merger is not a battle, but a patient blending. Over time, boundaries fade. No us and them remain, only a deeper whole. Jung saw a similar process in the psyche. He believed inner maturity comes from integrating fragments of lived experience. He wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. But this pain is quiet, extended, where parts of the ego learn to coexist. The light of giant galaxies fades toward their edges. At their centers, old red stars move slowly within deep gravity. There are fewer young stars, less drama. This is not death, it is deep stability." Jung described this as a phase where the ego no longer needs constant proof. A person may shine less socially, yet carry greater inner gravity. Silent giants often sit at the centers of galaxy clusters. They barely move, shaping others' paths through gravity alone. Jung noted archetypes operate similarly, silently influencing without command. Listening to these stories before sleep often brings permission to slow down. In daily life, we are urged to stay young, bright, productive. But the universe honors age, weight, slowness, and still calls them central. Jung wrote, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Giant galaxies embody this light and dark, motion and stillness. Countless pasts integrated into stable presence. As you listen, your breath may slow. Your body may leave alert mode. The message is ancient. Slowing down is not failure, it is natural. Silent giants do not need to tell their stories. Their existence alone is reassuring, and in that reassurance, sleep can arrive naturally. The journey continues toward even subtler structures, but for now, let the image of giant galaxies rest within you. You do not need to shine to be worthy. You only need to exist slowly, and let the universe and sleep do the rest. Time dissolves in their presence. Millions of years become a breath. Jung likened this to the self, the quiet center beyond the noisy ego. He wrote, "The self is not only the center, but also the whole circumference, which embraces both conscious and unconscious. Giant galaxies are both center and embrace. Their faint light is not poverty but age spread too widely to blaze. So too with mature souls. Society may prize speed and noise, but the unconscious remembers endurance. Giant galaxies prove that persistence matters more than brilliance. What has been consumed in you, old dreams, outdated selves, has not been lost. It has been integrated. Their darkness creates depth, just as quiet parts of you make sleep safe. You do not need to go anywhere tonight. Just let the image of an ancient, vast, silent galaxy drift through you. The universe allows itself to slow down, and so may you. Let your breath lengthen. Let attention soften. Like fading starlight at the galaxy's edge, awareness can dissolve, not vanish, only widen. The journey will go on. But here, among the silent giants, you may let sleep arrive slowly, gently, and completely safe. Part 6. Nearly invisible galaxies. Under the night sky, once our eyes have adjusted to the darkness, we often believe that what does not shine does not exist. But the universe, like the human mind, whispers a very different truth. There are galaxies that are nearly invisible, not because they are small, but because they do not reveal light in the ways we are accustomed to seeing. Some galaxies contain almost no stars at all, consisting mainly of cold, gas, faint dust, or even predominantly dark matter. They exist, they exert influence, they hold the structure of space together, yet they leave almost no trace for the naked eye. These galaxies are discovered not through light, but through gravity, through the subtle bending of space around them, or through faint radio signals echoing from distant emptiness. This deeply echoes a core principle in the psychology of Carl Gustav Jung. The most important parts of a human being are not the most visible ones. Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Like these invisible galaxies, the unconscious does not need to appear clearly to demonstrate its power. It only needs to act. It bends behavior, emotion, and choice, much like dark matter bends the light of stars behind it. We do not see it directly, but we see its effects everywhere. Some galaxies are so vast that if they emitted light, they would be dazzling, and yet they fade almost completely into the cosmic background. They resemble quiet people occupying deep inner space without making noise. In the modern world, we often mistake existence for brightness, but the universe does not. It shows us that being does not require intensity. Jung called these hidden parts the shadow, not evil, but unseen. He wrote, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." Nearly invisible galaxies carry the universe's shadow. They account for the missing mass in equations. They explain why galaxies do not fly apart. Without them, the visible universe would not hold together. In the same way, within the human soul, repressed emotions, faint memories, unnamed sadness, these are what hold the structure of the self together. What is gentle is this: invisible galaxies do not need to be fixed. They are not deficient. They simply differ from the observer's expectations. When science changed its tools from optical telescopes to radio telescopes, from light to gravity, these galaxies quietly appeared legitimate and complete. Jung believed psychotherapy was not about fixing people, but about expanding perception. When consciousness becomes wide enough, what once seemed empty becomes meaningful. In the context of sleep, this matters deeply. As night arrives, consciousness grows tired and loosens its control. The invisible parts of you, distant memories, unnamed feelings, vague images begin to move. They do not need to be understood. They only need not to be pushed away. Sleep does not arrive when everything is illuminated, but when darkness is allowed to feel safe. The universe contains far more than what the eye can see, and so do you. What does not shine within you is not a void to be filled, but a space allowed to rest. Nearly invisible galaxies remind us silence is not absence. Darkness is not nothingness. And not everything of value needs to be illuminated. As you lie listening, your mind may drift into a soft blur, where thoughts lose sharpness and images dissolve. This is not distraction. It is the right direction. Like invisible galaxies, you are still here, still existing, still held within a structure far larger than awareness. Let the blurring happen. No need to see more clearly. No need to grasp. The universe does not ask to be fully seen in one night. Neither does sleep. Just know this: even in the deepest darkness, gentle forces are holding you exactly where you belong. If you remain a little longer with these nearly invisible galaxies, a quiet comfort emerges. The universe does not favor display. Faint galaxies pour in light, nearly empty of stars, are allowed to exist for billions of years. They are not erased for failing to shine. In a deep way, this is a silent consolation. You do not need to shine constantly to deserve existence. Jung emphasized that the human soul is not made only of success, consciousness, or social recognition. The neglected parts, the suppressed parts, the overlooked parts, these create inner gravity. He wrote, "The unconscious is not just evil by nature, it is also the source of the highest good." Invisible galaxies are not errors of the universe. They are sources of stability. It is the unseen mass, cold gas, dark matter halos that keep stars from escaping their orbits. Light is the surface. Order comes from what lies beneath. As you prepare for sleep, the same process unfolds within you. Consciousness, the part that wants to control and understand, grows tired. The invisible layers of the mind begin to speak. They speak not in logic, but in feeling vague imagery, memory without labels. If daytime is spent shining a bright light on yourself, nighttime is when you learn to dim it. Invisible galaxies remind us not everything must be understood to be accepted. Jung never saw the unconscious as something to conquer, but something to listen to. When the vague is allowed to exist, the mind relaxes. Sleep arrives not as an action, but as a consequence. There is a beautiful paradox in cosmology. The more we search for light, the more we discover that most of the universe is made of what does not shine. And the more we force ourselves to stay alert and in control, the further sleep drifts away. But when we accept ambiguity, when the mind becomes softly dim like invisible galaxies, sleep arrives gently. These galaxies also teach humility. The universe does not revolve around human perception. Some structures exist for billions of years before technology can detect them. Jung warned against the arrogance of modern consciousness, the belief that only what can be seen, measured, and named is real. Both the universe and the soul quietly reject this belief. So tonight you do not need to do anything. You do not need to try to relax. You do not need to force sleep. You only need to allow the unclear parts of you to exist, as the universe allows faint galaxies to exist without justification. If your thoughts become fragmented, if images lose sharp edges, if your sense of self feels lighter and wider, this is not losing control. It is being held by invisible forces, just as stars are held by dark matter. Let yourself float in this gentle dimness a little longer. No light required, no answers needed. The universe remains, and sleep is arriving slow, deep, and kind. Part 7. The universe is held by what we cannot see. Under the night sky, when we look at stars scattered across deep darkness, intuition often whispers that light is what holds the universe together. But science and Carl Gustav Jung's depth psychology lead us to a gentler truth. The universe is held together by what we cannot see. Dark matter, which makes up most of the universe's mass, does not emit or reflect light. It cannot be touched. Yet it forms the invisible skeleton, preventing galaxies from tearing themselves apart as they spin at immense speeds. If only what we see existed, galaxies would have flown apart long ago. Stability does not come from brilliance, but from silence. This resonates closely with Jung's insight that the most decisive parts of the human being lie in the unconscious, unseen, unheard, yet constantly supporting the whole psyche. Light bends when passing through regions of great mass. This phenomenon, gravitational lensing, allows scientists to detect invisible structures through their effects on surrounding space. Some galaxies are discovered not by seeing them directly, but by observing how they distort the light behind them. This mirrors precisely how the unconscious operates. We do not notice it in the moment of choice, but we recognize it in patterns, repeated emotions, familiar decisions, recurring relationships. Jung wrote, "The unconscious is not just evil by nature, it is also the source of the highest good." Dark matter is not a frightening void, but the source of order. It does not draw attention, yet it carries foundational responsibility. If daytime consciousness is like light, clear, logical, directional, nighttime unconsciousness is like dark matter, formless, silent, yet holding the self together. There is deep comfort in realizing that not everything important needs to be seen. Modern life exhausts us by demanding constant visibility, productivity, proof of worth. But the universe tells a different story. What sustains existence most reliably is what does not speak. Jung believed that when humans over-identify with conscious control, inner balance is lost. Sleep becomes the moment when the unconscious is allowed to work, just as dark matter has worked for billions of years without recognition. As you listen, your thoughts may soften, images may blur. This is not emptiness. It is a transfer of authority from consciousness to deeper layers. Like light yielding to gravity, your mind is allowing ancient, safe mechanisms to take over. Gravity seen this way becomes a natural telescope revealing relationships rather than appearances. Jung emphasized that psychology studies not just conscious content, but invisible connections within the psyche. Dreams, vague emotions before sleep, memory fragments, all are bent light, revealing hidden inner mass. The universe is held by what we cannot see. So are you. When you allow yourself not to understand, not to see clearly, not to control, you are doing what the universe has always done, trusting invisible support. Sleep then arrives not as a goal, but as a restored balance. Let darkness do its work. Light does not need to stay awake all night. Neither do you. If you stay longer with the idea that the universe is held by what we cannot see, something subtle shifts. Safety no longer comes from understanding everything, but from trusting silent structures already at work. Dark matter does not ask to be noticed. It holds galaxies without daily acknowledgement, like a heartbeat continuing during sleep. Jung warned that modern consciousness overvalues light and forgets darkness not as evil, but as containing space. He wrote, "In each of us there is another whom we do not know. Dark matter is the universe's other. The unconscious is ours. They do not oppose light or consciousness, they complete them. Without dark matter, starlight has nowhere to belong. Without the unconscious, consciousness has no ground." When light bends around invisible mass, we learn that influence does not require display. Some people shape us deeply without noise. Some memories guide us without frequent appearance. Jung called these complexes powerful not because they erupt, but because they persist quietly. Sleep allows us to live like the universe. Conscious light dims. Invisible forces adjust breath, deepens, body softens, memory reorganizes. Nothing needs to be done. You are held like a galaxy held by dark matter without knowing it. Fear often arises when control loosens, but the universe is not afraid. It entrusted itself to invisible forces long ago. Jung believed healing comes not from increasing control, but from trusting deeper layers of the psyche. So tonight you need not imagine dark matter clearly. Just feel this simple truth: something unseen is holding you safely right now. The bed supports your body. Breath finds rhythm. Thoughts release sharp edges. The universe does not collapse when light disappears. Neither do you when thinking fades. Deeper structures awaken older than language, older than effort. Let yourself be held like a galaxy at night. No need to shine, no need to prove. Just exist slowly within a vast, gentle order. Part 8. Galaxies as time machines. When we look up at Tastov, the night sky, we believe we are seeing the universe as it is now. But the truth is gentler and far deeper. We are seeing the past. Light from distant galaxies left its source millions, even billions of years ago, traveling through cold space to reach human eyes only now. Each galaxy, therefore, is not just a physical structure, but a time machine, silent, precise, and unable to fast forward or rewind. When science says we are seeing the universe in its youth, this is not only astronomy, it is philosophy. We witness early moments when the first galaxies ignited, when the first stars lit, the primordial darkness ending the universe's dark ages. Darkness gave way to form. Chaos yielded story. In Jungian language, this mirrors the moment when unconscious material first becomes illuminated, not controlled but recognized. Jung wrote, "The unconscious contains the whole secret of the psyche." Distant galaxies hold the universe's secrets similarly. We cannot touch them or change what occurred, but by seeing them, understanding quietly grows. Each telescope image is not a photograph, it is preserved time. In Jungian psychology, memory never truly disappears. It retreats into inner time, waiting for the right moment to return, through dreams, sudden emotion, or nameless feeling. Like galactic light, some experiences happened long ago but only reach consciousness now. Sleep is when these inner time machines work most actively. When consciousness releases the present, the unconscious projects old films, not logically but symbolically. Past and present overlap, like seeing a young galaxy that is already ancient. There is comfort in knowing we can see the past without reliving its pain. Light carries memory, not suffering. Dreams attempt the same, processing memory gently. Jung said dreams are the guiding words of the soul. Galaxies as time machines remind us that not every returning memory is heavy. Some return simply to be seen, then fade. As you listen now, you may be on the edge between waking and sleep. Time blurs. Today recedes. Yesterday softens. You are entering an ancient state where the mind becomes a telescope and dreams become sky. You need not calculate ages or distances. Just know very old stories have traveled far to reach you, gentle enough to lull you to rest. The universe came a long way to whisper them. You do not need to stay awake to listen. Let time slow. Let ancient light do its work. Close your eyes. Become a small, quiet part of this vast time machine. If you linger with this idea, you may sense something peaceful. Time is not as rushed as we believe. Human life obsesses over now, speed, urgency. But galactic light is patient. It travels without anxiety. Jung believed the deepest psyche is not governed by clocks. In the unconscious, there is no late or early, only right timing. He wrote, in the unconscious there is no such thing as time. When we see distant galaxies multiple times coexist, youth and age together, so too within you, parts that are young, ancient, raw and mature exist simultaneously. The first galaxies ended cosmic darkness, just as consciousness emerges as isolated lights in the unconscious. Sleep is not the mind turning off, but returning to this older state. Dreams ignore linear time. This is natural. As you listen, time likely feels slower. Tomorrow fades. Today softens. You are entering a timeless zone where sleep forms. Do not push it. No one can hurry light. No one needs to force sleep. The universe is not rushed. Neither are you. Let inner time machines work. Let memory reorganize. Let images drift. You do not need to understand them. Time is slowing. The universe is whispering. You are exactly where you need to be, ready to close your eyes and rest. Part 9. The Cosmic Web and Silent Voids. If there is a pre-fate, moment that truly silences humanity before the universe, it is realizing that galaxies are not scattered randomly in meaningless space. They lie on a vast cosmic web, invisible filaments stretching hundreds of millions of light-years, quietly binding everything together through gravity. Between these filaments lie enormous cosmic voids, nearly empty, almost nothing, and profoundly silent. At first glance, the web appears as order, but deeper still, something very Jungian emerges, meaning lies not only in what is present, but in what is absent. Jung emphasized that the psyche is shaped not just by clear thoughts and strong emotions, but by unnamed spaces. He wrote, "What you resist not only persists but will grow in size. Cosmic voids are not errors. They are natural results of structure formation. Where matter gathers, space opens. Where connection exists, emptiness is required. So too within us, emotional density requires silence to prevent overload. Though galaxies are separated by unimaginable distances, they influence each other. Gravity, weak but persistent, connects them. Without the web, there would be no shape. Without voids, no web. The universe is woven of thread and space. Jung described the psyche similarly, a self-regulating whole. He wrote, "The psyche is a self-regulating system that maintains its equilibrium just as the body does. No central command, no planner. Order emerges through slow interaction over time. This is deeply reassuring. Order does not require constant control." Listening before sleep, you may sense this web within yourself. You are not isolated. Your thoughts, emotions, memories lie on invisible threads formed by lived experience. Between them are quiet spaces, moments of nothingness before sleep. Modern life fears emptiness. The universe does not. It reserves most of its volume for silence. Jung believed maturity comes from being with silence, without fear. As you prepare for sleep, your mind enters a necessary void. Thoughts loosen, edges blur. This is not disorientation, it is reorganization. The cosmic web teaches connection does not require noise. Distance is not loneliness. Emptiness is not meaninglessness. Let your mind widen like cosmic voids. Do not grasp thoughts. Do not push them away. Even in silence, you are connected, held by ancient forces. And in this quiet connection, sleep finds you naturally. Stay a little longer with the image of the cosmic web. Peace does not come from knowing your place, but from belonging to something larger. No galaxy designs the web. Each simply occupies its place. Jung called this touching the self, the whole beyond ego. He wrote, "The self is not only the center, but also the whole circumference which embraces both conscious and unconscious. The web has no absolute center. Each point is central to itself and small within the whole. This relieves the human mind. You do not have to carry all meaning. Voids are not lack, they allow movement. In the psyche, these are moments without definition, pure presence." Jung believed the unconscious needs such spaces to heal. As you drift towards sleep, daily thought filaments loosen. Concerns lose shape. You may feel yourself dissolving into something larger. This is not loss, it is return. The universe does not rush to fill emptiness. Neither must you fill silence with thought. When you allow not knowing, deeper order forms. Imagine your mind as a cosmic void, quiet, wide, undemanding. Thoughts drift like galaxies on filaments, then settle. You are not alone in silence. You are held as galaxies are held in an order older than awareness. Rest there. Sleep is no longer something to seek. It becomes inevitable. Like galaxies resting in the cosmic web, you are resting in a structure far safer than conscious effort could design. Let the emptiness open a little more. No more light, no more thought. Just be here, in vast silence, where everything is connected and nothing is in a hurry. Part 10. Galaxies, the memory of light and sleep. As the journey through the galaxies slowly comes to its close, we arrive at an idea that is both vast and deeply personal. The universe is expanding, and with that expansion, light is gradually drifting beyond our reach. Distant galaxies continue to move away their light, growing fainter, redder, until one day it can no longer be read by any telescope. This is not tragic. It feels more like a very slow whisper of time itself. Not everything is meant to remain visible forever. We humans are living in a very particular moment of the universe, a rare era in which the night sky can still tell stories. An era in which light from billions of years ago remains strong enough to touch our retinas, clear enough to invite reflection on origins, on history, on our own small place within it all. In a very deep sense, we are living at a time when the memory of the universe can still be heard. Carl Gustav Jung believed that memory exists not only within the individual, but also within what he called the collective unconscious. He wrote, "The collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution. Each galaxy is like this as well. It is not merely a collection of stars, gas, and dust, but a chronicle of time itself. Within its light is the history of its formation, its collisions, its stellar explosions, its long stretches of silence lasting billions of years. When we look at a galaxy, we are not simply observing an object, we are reading a story written long before humanity existed. There is a profound parallel here with sleep. By day, consciousness is occupied with the present, but when night arrives, when the eyes close inner, light memories begin to rise. The images, emotions, and symbols of dreams are also chronicles not of the outer universe, but of the inner one. Jung believed that dreams are how the soul tells its own history, in a language that is softer, less logical, yet more truthful. He wrote, "Dreams are the guiding words of the soul. If each galaxy is a book of time, then each dream is a page quietly opening in the night. You do not need to read every page. You do not need to understand every line. Simply allow the page to turn itself. The universe does not require you to remember every star, and the soul does not demand that you remember every dream. When we understand that light will eventually drift away, a natural release begins to happen. Not surrender, but a loosening of control. Jung believed that one of humanity's deepest sufferings comes from clinging to the conscious ego, to the need to understand, to grasp, to master. But both the universe and sleep follow a different principle. Everything has its own rhythm. Sleep does not arrive when we try to sleep. It arrives when we allow time to pass without interference. Just as light from a galaxy has traveled for billions of years without being hurried, sleep is already on its way to you, slow, steady, and certain. Now, as the journey nears its end, you may feel a softening in the body. The breath deepens. Thoughts lose their sharp edges. You no longer need to follow the story, and that is perfectly fine. Jung believed that in this state of letting go, the soul truly returns to the self, a place without tasks or goals, only presence. The universe continues to expand. Light continues to drift away, but right now you do not need to follow it. You only need to stay in this quiet room, in this familiar bed, in the rhythm of your breath becoming steadier. The stories of the galaxies have been told. What remains is a very gentle silence. Let the chronicles of the universe close for tonight. Let the memory of light settle. You do not need to carry anything further. Sleep does not require knowledge or effort. It only asks that you allow yourself to dissolve gently into the darkness, just as the universe has always done since the very beginning of time. If we linger a little longer with the image of light drifting beyond view, we may touch a very particular feeling. Finitude is no longer frightening. The universe does not try to hold on to its light. It allows galaxies to drift away, allows ancient stories to fade. And in that letting go, it continues to exist, to expand, to breathe in its own rhythm. This reflects a deep Jungian truth. Maturity does not come from holding on, but from allowing what needs to leave to depart. Carl Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The light of galaxies does not disappear because it is weak, but because space has grown vast." In the same way, many memories within you have not faded because they lack importance, but because your soul has grown expanded enough that they no longer need to remain at the center. Sleep is the moment when this expansion is felt most clearly. As you sleep, the ego contracts, making room for a wider space where nothing needs to be remembered, understood, or done. We live in a time when the sky can still be read, but like any meaningful book, not every page needs close study. Some passages are meant to be skimmed, some are meant to be felt as rhythm, and some simply invite us to close the book, not because the story ends, but because we are full enough for the night. Jung believed that the unconscious is never in a hurry. It does not push humans to evolve overnight. It works in cycles, repetitions, and very ancient waves. The universe does the same. It does not need an audience. It does not need to be observed to exist. It simply continues to expand like a long, long breath lasting billions of years. As you lie here listening to these final words, you are also in a small cycle of your own. The day has closed. The light of consciousness is fading. Daytime stories no longer ask for your participation. You are allowed to return to a very primal state, to be supported, to be held to rest. If there is one final thing the galaxies whisper before sleep, it is this: you do not need to carry the entire universe into your dreams. The universe existed long before you awoke, and it will continue to exist while you sleep. Your only task now is to let go. Let the memory of light dissolve into gentle darkness. Let the chronicles close for tonight. There is no lesson to extract, nothing to remember. Only a quiet, safe presence surrounding you. And in this stillness, sleep is no longer a destination. It becomes a natural state, just as the universe becomes itself when it is no longer being watched. You do not need to do anything more. Just close your eyes. The universe is breathing. and so are you. And now, as the stories of the galaxies have slowly settled, as the ancient light of the universe has completed its long journey to touch your mind, you may notice a very subtle change. Nothing dramatic, just a sense of slowing. The breath deeper, the body warmer and heavier. Daytime thoughts no longer standing in neat lines but dissolving, softening, like starlight fading after traveling too far through space. Carl Gustav Jung believed that humans live not only by what they know but by what they allow themselves not to know. In this moment, you do not need to understand anything more about the universe. You do not need to remember facts or follow the narrative. Consciousness has done its work. What remains, the deeper, quieter part, is gently taking over. The universe we have traveled through is not distant. It is a vast mirror. In the expansion of space, we see the expansion of the mind. In fading galaxies, we see memories that have completed their task. In silent voids, we see the value of not needing to fill everything. Jung said that healing does not happen when we try to become better, but when we become more whole. And wholeness always includes both light and shadow, the seen and the unseen. Sleep is one of the few moments each day when humans are allowed to be whole in this way, not fragmented by roles, responsibilities, or thoughts. If you are now hovering at the edge between waking and sleep, that is perfectly natural. You do not need to stay awake to hear everything. These galactic stories do not demand attention. They are like distant wind or steady waves there to support, not to test. Allow the body to soften a little more. Let the shoulders drop. Let the jaw loosen. Let the forehead smooth. You do not need to enter sleep. Sleep is already moving toward you, following a rhythm humans have shared with the universe since the beginning. You are not alone in this moment, not because someone is nearby, but because you are surrounded by a much larger order. Galaxies continue to turn. Gravity keeps everything in place. And your mind, whether you notice it or not, is quietly adjusting itself, guiding you towards safe rest. If images drift through your mind, do not hold them. If thoughts arise, do not push them away. Let them pass like light from a distant galaxy that traveled for ages and then faded into night. Sleep is not the loss of consciousness. It is the handing over of the watch to deeper parts of you, parts that learned how to keep the heart beating, the breath flowing, and dreams forming long before you learned to think in words. And as you drift further into sleep, you may not hear these last words clearly. That is completely fine. You are missing nothing. Because the purpose of this journey was never to understand, but to rest. If one day you wake and remember that you once listened to stories about galaxies at night, remember this: they were not only stories about the outer universe, but stories about an inner quiet you can always return to. Thank you for spending this slow space here with Stories for Sleep. If these stories have brought you even a small sense of calm, a slightly easier breath before sleep, you may subscribe to continue traveling with us on other nights, through other journeys, other worlds, always told at the gentlest rhythm. And now there is nothing more you need to do. Put the phone aside, let your eyelids close naturally, and allow sleep to do its work. Good night.